You know, one word the gun community uses quite a lot that I absolutely hate is libtard. I hate this word because I don't think it does us any good. All it does is anger other people. It doesn't win us any friends. It doesn't make anyone see our position. It doesn't bring any new people into the fold. All it does is alienate a large group of people. And it's insulting to a large group of people. Maybe it's because I'm a liberal that I hate that word, because I am a liberal. I am a constitutional liberal, a classic liberal. I'm very socially liberal. I'm a firm believer that anything the Constitution says we can do, we can do. And no one has a right to stop us unless we are willfully and intentionally hurting other people. Same thing with if the Constitution doesn't say we can't do something. If there's something it doesn't say we can't do, then I think we can do it as long as we are not willfully and intentionally hurting other people. I'm very liberal when it comes to social issues. I believe everyone should be able to do what they want to do as long as it's not unconstitutional and as long as it's not hurting other people. So I am a constitutional liberal. So maybe that's why I hate that word. But you know, every now and then, someone comes along that almost justifies the existence of that word. As much as I hate it, there are some people that it fits. Some people actually reinforce the stereotype. And one of those people is Representative Eric Swalwell. If you're not familiar with Mr. Swalwell, I'll tell you what he said this week. Well, he is a big proponent of banning semi-automatic weapons. He doesn't like the people having power. And he really exposed the fact that he doesn't like the people having power in his statements over the last couple of days. Now, a lot of politicians will suggest outlawing certain weapons. Remember, we had the assault weapons ban there for a while. But they never go as far as to say we're going to forcefully take them from people after we outlaw them. He went that far. He said we should outlaw the weapons, and then we should use the military and law enforcement to punish people who don't turn them over. To go get them, use registries, use whatever, to go get these people that don't turn over these items that they bought legally and they're constitutionally entitled to own. To me, that's an extra step there. Because it's one thing to be willing to violate the Constitution on paper. It's another thing to use the U.S. military and law enforcement to physically and forcefully enforce that violation on the people. And this is what he suggested. And if that wasn't disgusting enough in its own right, someone who's supposed to be a leader of this country suggesting that the government has the right to not only violate the Constitution through their words, but through their deeds as well, if that wasn't disgusting enough, when people said to him, if you did something like that, there would be war. People would rebel. He said, well, it'd be short because we have nukes, legit nukes. So he's suggesting that if people actually were stupid enough to fight back against the government would nuke them. The government would kill American citizens who were standing up about them violating the Constitution. On American soil, he was suggesting that they would use nuclear weapons. He was suggesting that. Telling them, your war would be short because my side has nukes. To me, that's the epitome of a corrupt government. That's not a leader, that's a dictator. That's a disgusting, gross person. I have differences with a lot of politicians about guns, and I try to have an intelligent conversation about those differences and try to point out how they're wrong. This guy, you can't have an intelligent conversation with someone like this. This guy is a Stalin-esque dictator wannabe. When he suggests that we will nuke American citizens on American soil, that's disgusting. It's just gross. I can't think of another word for it. It's vile. The fact that he would say that he would imply that the government, before it would allow people to actually maintain their own control of their own lives or dare resist his regime, he would blow them off the face of the map. He would destroy the country before he would allow people to control the country instead of government. That was the most disgusting thing I've heard in a long time. This guy is not fit to be a congressman. This guy is not fit to be a clerk in any Capitol building anywhere, much less a representative in government. He doesn't need to be a congressman. He doesn't need to be a senator. And he was talking about running for president in 2020 right before he said this. Is this what we want for president? This guy, a guy that would seriously suggest wiping out large numbers of American citizens because they don't agree with him or they resist his power. No, that's not someone we want to be anywhere in government. This guy needs to resign. He's not fit to lead a brownies troop, much less lead a county or lead a state. If this guy is your representative from your county, I would suggest you start the petitions immediately to have this guy removed from office. He should resign. He should actually do the right thing and step down and say, well, I realize what I said was disgusting. It was the most un-American, counter-freedom thing any politician I've ever heard has said. And he should step down and go back to being an accountant or whatever it is he does if he has any profession whatsoever. Probably lawyer. They all go to law school so they can be professional politicians. So this guy is an elitist and he's disgusting and he's violent. Just stating something like that. There's some things that shouldn't be said. Some things are never funny. He tried to claim it's sarcasm. That wasn't sarcasm. There's no way that could be interpreted as sarcasm or a joke. Believe me, I understand sarcasm. I use sarcasm all the time. If you don't believe me, just ask my super intelligent viewers that always understand when I'm using sarcasm. I know sarcasm. What you said wasn't sarcasm. There was nothing sarcastic about it. It was just vile. You need to step down. You need to go away. You are not an American. You are not someone who values the things this country stands for. You make me sick. You epitomize, you embody the word libtard, a word I want to get rid of. How can I convince people to not use that word when there's one standing on a podium acting like the next Hitler? You are the worst. I've never been as angry with I have never even been as angry at Feinstein as I have been at you, because Feinstein has never, even Feinstein has never suggested that we use American firepower, the governmental firepower, to kill citizens who resist. Even she's never sunk that low. You are the lowest of the low, and you do not deserve to be where you are. You need to step down. Now, a lot of people will say, well, the right talks about violence all the time too. Yeah, they do. And there's a lot of things the right does and a lot of things the right say I don't agree with. Like I don't agree with talking about civil war when we aren't to that point yet. Some people seem like they're eager to destroy the country. I don't agree with that. But if there ever came a time where we had to fight back, I'd be 100% on their side. Because usually when they talk about violence, it's defensive violence. Like if they come for me, I'm going to fight, which I strongly believe in. What he was talking about wasn't defensive, it was offensive. It was using force against American citizens to enforce an unconstitutional act. And even beyond that, it was suggesting going to the extreme of using nuclear weapons on American soil against rebels or dissidents, people that resisted the power of the government. You're just gross, you're vile, you need to step down. Because like I said, you don't understand what it means to be an American. You do not reflect American ideas. You are just a horrible, vile person. You've got me upset. You don't understand the Second Amendment, for one. And you don't understand how an actual revolt would work out either, if you think that would go the way you think it does. But that's another video. I'll have to do another video on the true meaning of the Second Amendment and how people would really fight back. But for now, I just wanted to say to this guy, this Representative Eric Swalwell, you are disgusting. You do not deserve to be in the position you're in. You should step down. And if you don't step down, people should take you from office forcefully, if necessary, since you like force so much.